2025 NFL team previews, Washington Commanders, and this is it. The last team. I've now previewed all 32 teams. Make sure to check out your favorite team. They're all posted on TikTok or YouTube. If you've learned anything or got anything from these team previews and would consider giving this video a like or a comment, I'd really appreciate it. Now, you can't talk about the Commanders' 2024 season without talking about how they overperformed basically every expectation. Head coach Dan Quinn overperformed the team's win total by more games than any other head coach that previously held a head coaching job but was hired as a coordinator. As with all teams who exceed expectations, you can almost always point to areas where they had outlier type luck. For Washington, it started with their soft schedule, particularly the quarterbacks they faced. If you combine the EPA numbers for all quarterbacks Washington faced last year, it's a negative EPA number. They're the only team to have faced a schedule of quarterbacks who combined to have a negative net EPA. 65% of the defensive snaps were against either a backup quarterback or a QB that finished bottom 3 in EPA. I mean, just look at their last 6 games last season. They faced Cooper Rush, Will Levis, Jake Haener, Kenny Pickett, Michael Penix, Trey Lance. Washington was a healthy team too. 5th fewest adjusted games lost due to injury. They won 8-4 in single score games. They went an incredible 20 for 23 on 4th down conversion. 87% is by far the best ever in history, with a minimum of 15 attempts. There's teams that hit a higher percentage, but they only went for it like 7 times. And almost half those 4th down attempts were of 3 yards or more. So it's not like they just had a bunch of 4th down QB sneaks. Now, all signs point to regression this year for Washington, but J.Daniels is the X factor here. I didn't think a rookie QB was able to play as good as Daniels did, and it wasn't because he was like so much more athletic or so much more faster than everyone. He always made the right play. He anticipated coverages. He rifled through his progressions to find the open man. I used to think all that virtual reality gameplay stuff was just bullshit, but I'm starting to think there's something there. I'll definitely be a believer if we start seeing J.J. McCarthy slinging it in his first year. I guess the Vikings have had him heavy into the virtual reality stuff. And I don't want to go through all of J.Daniels' numbers, but I can't think of a more impressive rookie campaign. I bet him to win Rookie of the Year, so I thought he'd be good, but he constantly performed in situations where almost all other rookie QBs struggle in. Winning 2 road playoff games might be the most impressive thing he did. Not only are rookie QBs bad in their first ever playoff start, but they're even worse making their first road playoff start. Daniels checked off both those boxes twice, beating Tampa Bay and Detroit on the highway before losing to the eventual champs, Philly. But that's all in the past now. One trend he is yet to complete is avoiding the sophomore blues. This is a real thing, and it has an easily explainable reason as to why. Not only do rookie QBs have the task of making a ton of adjustments in their first season, adapting to the NFL level, but in their second season, defenses start adjusting for them and are equipped with a good sample size of game film to analyze and can tailor specific defensive game plans. I'm a big believer in this too. How many times each year do we see a backup quarterback thrown into a game or make a start mid-season and just go and ball out? At least for a couple games. I mean, there's a lot of examples of this, and it's because defenses don't have strong game plans for quarterbacks they don't expect to face or they haven't faced or have like NFL film on. Based on EPA numbers, J.Daniels had the 5th best rookie season numbers of any quarterback in the last 15 years. Of the other rookie QBs who finished inside the top 10, only 4 of them had the same or better numbers in their sophomore season, and there's a few where we saw their numbers drop off sharply. Although it's tough to imagine Daniels will be part of that group, but he's definitely going to be tested this year. I have Washington playing a top 10 overall toughest strength of schedule, and based on last year's EPA numbers, they'll play a schedule of the best defenses. They played 6 defenses last year that had an EPA rating inside the top 12, and they didn't do so good, only 2-4 straight up. So not only will Daniels face a stiffer competition this season, but his popularity is actually going to bite him this year. Being a popular superstar in the league means more primetime national spotlight games, which those games normally throw off your rest days. Washington's going to play 7 primetime TV games. They have a bottom 5 net rest day disadvantage. They get 4 different teams coming off bye weeks, and Commanders don't even get the benefit of advantage on their own Week 12 bye week because they'll play the Broncos, who are also coming off their bye week in Week 12. Washington does have a good play on spot, Week 17 at home versus Dallas, the Thursday night game, and Washington has extra time to prepare because they play the Eagles the week prior on a Saturday. So Dallas is going to be on the road, short week, playing a division rival, but will do it against Washington, who will have an extra rest. This is bigger than it may seem. It's rare to play a Thursday night game where one team, Dallas, is on a short week with less time to prepare, but the other team has an extra rest day. And Dallas has to do this on the road late in the season. Outside of that, it's a lot of travel for Washington. 2 West Coast trips, a game in Madrid. The first 7 weeks actually aren't terribly difficult. The last 11 are. They'll probably catch a break week 18 in Philly. Philly always sits starters week 18, assuming they're locked into the playoffs, which they probably will be. And this all kind of points towards a case for regression this year. Year 2 for Daniels has like an eerily similar feel to Texans' year 2 of C.J. Stroud. And, there's no development time for Daniels. This is an all-in year for Washington. When you're fortunate enough to find a good quarterback that's on a rookie deal, it allows you to make moves, and that's what Washington's done. They signed 23 free agents this offseason, and most of them are win-now moves. Nothing with Washington's moves suggests like building towards the future. Washington was the oldest team in the league last year, and it got older this offseason. So most of the age is on the defensive end, but the defense didn't really improve. They lost their top pass rusher, Dante Fowler. Washington had a league average pass rush, but they had to blitz at a top 5 rate to generate that pass rush. Jeremy Chin, that's a loss on defense that you're not going to see anyone really talking about, but I love this guy. He's like a hybrid safety linebacker. He's just always around the ball. Already had a pick 6, or no, I think it was just a pick in preseason. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year, runner-up in 2020. His surface numbers don't like jump off the page, but he's a really good team defender. Will blow up blockers on screens or tip balls. He was Washington's best tackler in their secondary last season, and although I love his replacement, Will Harris, because he's from Boston College, he's definitely a downgrade from Chin. The cover corners are solid, but aging. Lattimore, he was banged up last season, so his numbers dipped. And then they just got Jonathan Jones, who's been with the Patriots his whole career. He was an undrafted guy 10 years ago. On offense, they're really relying on some iffy spots. I love Deebo Samuels, but normally a player who's 29 years old would be in his prime, but his style of play has his body more like a 35-year-old. He's coming off career per game lows in every category. His yards after catch has declined 4 straight years. Last season was the first season he had a below 10-yard average on yak on screenplays. The McLaren situation came to like a peaceful resolution. I think both parties got what they wanted. Terry's on the wrong side of 30, but Washington needs him if they want J.Daniels to exceed. You don't want him. You don't want to stop bringing in like new receiving options with young quarterbacks, but looks like he'll be ready to go. As for the Hogs up front, Laremy Tunzel on the surface is a big addition, but he's lost a step from his prime, and he's just a magnet for yellow flags. But the offensive line was in limbo all training camp because of injuries. Washington's win total this year is 9.5, so someone betting the over thinks they'll be just as good as last season. I don't really see it. 9.5 is a full 3 games higher than their win total of 6.5 last year. It wouldn't surprise me if they won 10 games, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they missed the playoffs. And this is a betting preview, so I'm thinking in terms of what's more likely to happen, and I believe they don't repeat last year's result. I project 8.8 wins. I'm closer to betting the under than I am the over. I think I'm going to stop here. That's going to conclude the 2025 team previews. I have all my future bets along with my predictions for final season standings all in the Futures tab of the Power Packet. The Power Packet is available to members of my Discord community who have been assigned a role. It's free to join the Discord, but only members who have a role in the Discord can access the Power Packet and the members only section. That's where I post bets I'm making along with bets from my network I call Source Plays. Join the Discord for free. DM me with any questions. I hope everyone crushes it this football season. I feel really good about this season. I've never been this prepared this early in a few years. The last few years, I was only able to get through like 15 teams or 20 teams. And, I'm going to be posting different game preview stuff and systems this season on social, but all my bets will be posted in the Discord. Hope to see some of you in there. Until next time, good luck with your bet.